Good afternoon, everyone. In the previous class, we have discussed about the working of two-stroke petrol engine, two-stroke diesel engine, and then we have also discussed the differences between two-stroke engine and four-stroke engine. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about the differences between SI engine and CI engine. This question which also comes in the exam. Differences between SI engine. SI means spark ignition engine and CI engine. CI means compression ignition engine. Okay. Or question may come like this: differentiate between petrol engine and diesel engine. SI engine means petrol engine. CI engine means diesel engine. Okay. So again we will divide the page in two parts. Okay. This side write SI engine, SI, or we can say petrol engine. Petrol engine, and the other side CI or diesel engine. Okay. So we talk point wise. So the first point for SI engine is that SI engine or petrol engine works on Otto cycle. Okay. SI engine or petrol engine works on Otto cycle. Works on Otto cycle. But CI engine or diesel engine works on diesel cycle. Okay. This system works on diesel cycle. This is the first basic difference. Okay. What is Otto cycle? What is diesel cycle? We will discuss later. Okay. Next point is, if you remember the working of SI engine and CI engine, okay, then you can easily differentiate between both engines. Okay. So next point we can write from the name itself. SI means spark ignition engine, CI means compression ignition engine. Okay. So in spark ignition engine we need to use spark plug. Okay. So here spark plug is used. Spark plug is used for ignition purpose, for ignition of the fuel. Okay. Here spark plug is used for ignition of the fuel. Okay. But in CI engine or diesel engine, if you remember, self ignition of the fuel takes place. In this system, self ignition of fuel takes place. We need not to use spark plug here. Okay. Takes place due to compression of the air. Okay. How this self ignition happen? Due to compression or due to high temperature, we can say, due to high temperature of the compressed air, That's why it is named as compression ignition engine. Okay. Next difference we can write here. In SI engine, the ignition is done by spark plug. So here we use air fuel mixture. Okay. Here in suction process, air fuel mixture come inside the engine cylinder. Okay. So we take air fuel mixture comes inside the engine cylinder. in suction stroke. Okay, in suction stroke. Okay, but in diesel engine, in CI engine, only fresh air, only fresh air, fresh air comes inside the engine, comes inside the engine. Okay, okay. Now, as here we are using air fuel mixture, so for preparing this air fuel mixture, we need to use a carburetor. Okay, so in SI engine, carburetor is used. Carburetor is used for mixing of air and fuel, air and fuel, air and fuel. Okay, but in this system in CI engine, we are we are using only fresh air inside the engine. Okay, so there is no need of mixing air and fuel in the system. Okay, so carburetor is not used here. In place of carburetor, we are using fuel injector. Okay, in CI engine, fuel injector is used to inject the fuel, to inject the fuel inside the engine. Okay, another difference you can write here, in SI engines, as I said in the earlier class, in SI engine, the combustion of fuel takes place due to the sparking action of the spark plug. Okay, so but in CI engine, the combustion of fuel takes place due to the temperature of highly compressed air. Okay, here the cause for combustion is the temperature of highly compressed air. Okay, so here we need to increase the compression ratio. Okay, because we want to a high temperature equal to the ignition temperature of the fuel. That's why here we need to highly compress the air. For that, engine size is very large. Okay, and compression ratio is very high. But here engine size is very less and compression ratio is also very low. Okay, so in petrol engine, compression ratio is low. Compression ratio is low. Okay, what is compression ratio we will discuss in the next topic. Okay, but in CI engine, compression ratio is high. Okay, in CI engine compression ratio is high. Okay, another thing, I said that the size of engine is small. In SI engine size is small. Okay, I'm writing here. If you have understand the working of the systems properly, then you can write many points. Okay, so next point we can write that small size engine, small size and lightweight. Okay, but here heavyweight. These engines are heavyweight engines. Okay, another thing we can write that here compression ratio is very low, so thermal efficiency is also very low. 7th point, thermal efficiency will be low. will be low. But here, as compression ratio is very high, so thermal efficiency will be very high thermal efficiency. Okay, thermal efficiency is related with the compression ratio. Okay, we will see in the formula of thermal efficiency how the thermal efficiency related with the compression ratio. Okay, so as compression ratio is low, so thermal efficiency of the SI engine will be low, but here the thermal efficiency will be very high. Okay, so these are the points for the difference between SI and CI engine. Okay, you need to write only 4 or 5 points in the examination. Okay, so our next topic is thermodynamic terms. Thermodynamic terms involve in IC engine. Okay. What are the thermodynamic terms which are involved in IC engine? With the help of these terms, we are going to solve the numerical problem of IC engine. Okay. In the first class, in the first class of IC engine, I have told you that you need to be very clear with the concepts of thermodynamics. Okay, because you have studied in the second year. This subject you have studied earlier in the second year. Okay. So everyone should know about the basics of the thermodynamics. Okay. If anyone has forgotten about this, if anyone forgotten this subject, then please go through the notes and through the books. Okay. Because if basics of the thermodynamics is not clear, then we cannot proceed for this subject. Okay. So you need to be very clear with this subject. Okay. So what are the terms, thermodynamic terms which are involved with the IC engine? So first we will draw the basic structure of the IC engine. Then only we can understand the terms which are involved in IC engine. Okay. So I am drawing here the basic structure of the IC engine. We have seen this structure earlier. This is the engine cylinder. Okay. This is cylinder head, inlet valve, outlet valve, spark plug. All these things we have seen earlier. Okay. This piston. Okay. And this is the top TDC position of the piston. This is the TDC position of the piston, and this is the VDC position of the piston. Bottom dead center and top dead center. Okay. So the first term is, from this diagram, the first term is cylinder diameter. Okay. First term is cylinder diameter. This engine is of cylindrical shape. Okay, circular shape. If we cut the cross section from the top side, then we get a circular structure. Okay. If we see from the top side, then we get a circular structure. Okay. So this circle should have some diameter. That diameter is known as cylinder diameter. Okay. So cylinder diameter is represented by small d. Okay, small d is known as cylinder diameter. Dia or or cylinder bore. Okay, bore means diameter. Okay, cylinder diameter or cylinder bore. Okay, so this is the first term, cylinder diameter. Next is, this is the piston. Okay, piston is also of circular shape. Piston is moving inside the inside the piston. Okay, so piston is moving inside the engine cylinder. So as engine cylinder is of circular shape, so piston should be also is of circular shape. Okay, so this piston should have some area. This piston should have some area which is known as piston area. Piston area. Okay, and from the diagram I am saying that the diameter of the cylinder is d, so the diameter of the cylinder and the diameter of the piston should be equal to each other. Okay, because there is no clearance between piston and cylinder. Here there is no clearance, there is no space between cylinder and piston, so the diameter of cylinder should be equal to the diameter of piston. Okay, so diameter of piston is also d, and we are saying that the area is a. So what is the value of area a? Area should be equal to pi by 4 d square. Okay, this is piston area. Piston area pi by 4 d square. Okay. Next term is stroke length. Okay. What is stroke? I told you earlier, when piston moves from TDC to BDC or BDC to TDC, then this distance is known as one stroke. Okay. Okay, and the distance traveled in one stroke is known as stroke length. Okay, which is represented by small l, or capital L. Okay. Okay, capital L is stroke length. Okay, so this is the stroke length, capital L. Okay, now we know that piston cannot move above TDC. TDC is the topmost point where piston, up to which the piston can move. Above this point piston cannot move. Okay, but here between TDC and between the cylinder head there are some space. Okay, between TDC point and cylinder head there are some space. Okay, so if there are some space here, so this space have some volume. Okay, this volume is known as, volume of this space is known as clearance volume. VC, which is represented by VC, clearance volume. Okay, clearance volume, and this space is known as clearance space. Clearance space. Okay, so the volume of the clearance space is known as clearance volume. Okay, next thing is the volume of the stroke length. The volume covered by the piston when the piston is moving from TDC to BDC or BDC to TDC is known as stroke volume. Okay, so the stroke volume is the volume between these two positions, TDC and BDC. So the volume between these two positions is known as stroke volume, which is represented by Vs. Okay, stroke volume. Okay, so Vs is stroke volume, or it is also known as suction volume, stroke volume, or swept volume. Okay, So from the diagram, we can calculate the value of ds. Okay, this is a cylinder. This is a cylinder. Okay, and we can calculate the volume of the cylinder. Okay, so Vs we can write Vs equal to we know the area of the piston. Okay, area of the piston is what? Pi by 4 d square. Okay, and if this area is multiplied by stroke length, this much distance is traveled by piston during suction stroke. So if this area is multiplied by this stroke length, then we can get the volume of this space. Okay. So what will be the volume of this space? Ds is equal to area we know pi by 4 d square, pi by 4 d square into what is the length? That is stroke length, capital L into L. Okay. So stroke volume Vs is equal to pi by 4 d square L, where d is cylinder diameter, cylinder bore, and capital L is stroke length. Okay. This volume is also known as suction volume or swept volume. Swept volume. Okay. Next term is clearance ratio. Next term is clearance ratio. This term is very important. Clearance ratio, which is represented by small c. Okay, what is clearance ratio? So clearance ratio small c is the ratio of clearance volume to suction volume. Clearance ratio is the ratio of clearance volume means Vc to suction volume means Vs. Okay, so small c is equal to Vc by Vs. That's it. Small c is equal to Vc by Vs. Okay. Next important term is compression ratio. Compression ratio. Okay, compression ratio is represented by small r. What is compression ratio? What is compression ratio? So compression ratio R is the ratio of volumes during compression stroke. Compression ratio R is the ratio of volumes during compression stroke. So first we need to understand the compression stroke. How compression stroke happens. Okay. So in the starting of compression stroke, piston is at BDC. Okay. In the starting of compression stroke, I am talking about compression stroke, not suction stroke. In the starting of, if you remember the working of this engine, in the starting of suction stroke, the piston is at TDC. But when suction completed, after suction, when air fuel mixture fill up in this space, then piston reaches to BDC. After this, compression happens. Okay. So in the starting of compression stroke, piston is at BDC. Okay. So in the starting, the volume of the engine so in the starting we have to take the total volume of the engine from BDC to the cylinder head. Okay, because in the starting of the compression stroke, piston is here at BDC. So we have to take the total volume, this total volume from cylinder head to BDC. Okay, so let us assume that this volume is V1. Okay, this is the starting volume of the compression stroke. Okay, now after the completion of compression stroke, when piston moves from BDC to TDC, and when compression stroke completed, piston reaches to TDC. Okay. So when piston reaches to TDC, So this is the final volume of compression stroke. Okay, from TDC to cylinder head. Okay, so this is the initial volume of compression stroke when compression is started from VDC, and when compression completed, piston reaches to TDC, then this one is the final volume of compression stroke. Okay, so we got the initial volume of compression stroke V1 and final volume of compression stroke V2. Okay, from here we can say that V2 should be equal to VC. This V2 should be equal to VC. Okay, so what is the definition of compression ratio? Compression ratio is the ratio of volumes during compression stroke. So how many volumes we have got during compression stroke? First is V1 and last is V2. So what will be the ratio? R is equal to V1 by V2. These are the volumes during compression stroke. This is initial volume, this is final volume. Okay, so R is equal to V1 by V2. Okay, now we can simplify that. From the diagram we can change the value of V1 into Vc and Vs. Okay, from the diagram we can say that this is the total volume V1. Okay, so we can break the volume V1 into two parts. First is Vs and Vc. We can say that V1 is equal to Vs plus Vc. Okay, this is the total volume V1. Okay, so here we can replace V1 by Vs plus Vc. Vs plus Vc. Okay, and we can replace V2 by Vc because V2 is equal to Vc, clearance volume. Okay, so write Vc in place of V2. Okay, when we further simplify, we get Vs by Vc plus Vc by Vc. Vc cancel. Okay, so this will come 1 plus Vs by Vc. Okay, so this is the first formula for compression ratio. R is equal to 1 plus Vs by Vc. I am writing here. R is equal to, we have got this equation, R is equal to 1 plus Vs by Vc. Okay, this is the first formula for compression ratio. Okay, we also know that small c is equal to Vc by Vs. Okay, if we are writing here small c is equal to Vc by Vs, then what will be the value of Vs by Vc? It should be equal to 1 by C. Okay, so we can say that R is equal to 1 plus 1 by C. This is the second formula for compression ratio. Okay, now move one to the left side. Okay, so what we can write, R minus 1 equal to 1 by C. Okay, or C equal to 1 upon R minus 1. Okay, so this is the third formula we have got. Okay, so these are the formulas for compression ratio R. Okay, so you have to keep in mind all these formulas because we are going to use these formulas in other derivations also. Okay, so these are some important thermodynamics terms which are involved with the IC engine. Okay, some basic equations of thermodynamics I am going to write here so that you can remind that. if you have forgotten the formulas, then I'm going to write here some basic equations of thermodynamics which we are going to use in the next derivations. Okay, some basic thermodynamic equations. Okay, okay. So here I am going to write some important equations which we are going to use in our subject. Okay, so I am going to make a table. So here is a serial number. Okay, and here is content. Content means which type of equation we are going to write. Okay, content. And I am going to take a process. Okay, between point 1 and 2. I am going to take a process between point 1 and 2. For process 1 and 2. Okay, you have studied about process cycles in thermodynamics. Okay, so I am going to write these equations for process 1 to 2. Okay, so I am going to write here some basic processes of thermodynamics. Okay, some basic processes of thermodynamics. You have studied all these processes in thermodynamics. Okay, so you have studied about constant pressure process or isobaric process, isochoric process, constant volume process, isothermal process, adiabatic process, and polytropic process. Okay, so we are going to write here four processes, four important processes. First is isobaric process. Isobaric process. Isobaric process. Isobaric process is also known as constant pressure process. Okay, pressure is constant. Constant pressure. Okay, so isobaric process or constant pressure process. Next is isochoric process. Isochoric process or constant volume process. Okay, isochoric process is also known as constant volume process. Okay, next is isothermal process. Isothermal process. In isothermal process, temperature is constant. This is also known as constant temperature process. Okay, constant temperature process. Okay, next one is adiabatic process. Adiabatic process. What is adiabatic process? In adiabatic process, heat transfer is equal to 0. That is the basic definition of adiabatic process. Okay, the process in which there is no heat transfer occurs. Okay, that is known as adiabatic process. Means dq is equal to 0. dq is equal to 0. Okay, so these are the four important processes which we are going to use in IC engine. Polytropic process is not usable in this subject. Okay, so I am not going to talk about this. Talk about that. Okay, we are going to talk about only these four processes: isobaric, isochoric, isothermal, and adiabatic. Okay. So first, First, we are going to talk about the pressure, volume, and temperature relation. Pressure, volume, and temperature formula for all these processes. Pressure, volume, and temperature relation. What are the relation between pressure, volume, and temperature for all these processes? Okay. So first we will talk about isobaric process. Isobaric process or for constant pressure process. If you remember, what is the relation between pressure, volume, and temperature? Pressure is already constant, so there is no pressure, no use of pressure. Okay. So formula will only come between volume and temperature. Okay. So if you have remember, the formula is V1 by V2 equal to P1 by P2. Okay. This is the formula between volume and temperature for isobaric process. Okay. Now, for isochoric process, what is the relation between pressure, volume, and temperature? Now, in isochoric process, volume is constant, so there is no use of volume. There is no use of volume because volume is constant. So, relation will come between pressure and temperature. Okay. This you have already studied in thermodynamics. I am only reminding you the formulas. Okay. If you have forgotten. Okay. So what will be the formula for isochoric process for constant volume process? So P1 by P2 equal to P1 by 2. Okay. Why I am taking point 1 and 2? Because we are talking about the process between point 1 and 2. Okay. If this process is between point 3 and 4, then this will change into V3 by V4. Okay. That depends upon the point, what point we have taken. Okay. So we have taken point 1 and 2, so it will come like V1 by V2, T1 by T2. If this is between point 3 and 4, then this will come like V3 by V4, T3 by T4. Okay. Next one is isothermal process or constant temperature process. Okay. So here temperature is constant, so there is no use of temperature. Temperature is constant. So formula will come between pressure and volume. Okay. So what will be the formula for this process? P1 V1 P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. Okay. Or we can also write that if we take this P2 below P1, then this will become P1 by P2. Okay. And V2 will come here, V1 will come here. So P1 by P2 equal to V2 by V1. Okay. So we can also write this, write like this. Okay. P1 by P2 equal to V2 by V1. Okay. Next is for adiabatic process. Okay. So you have studied the general equation for adiabatic process. What is the general equation for adiabatic process? Pv to power gamma is equal to constant. You have studied that Pv to power gamma is equal to constant. This is the basic general equation for adiabatic process. Okay. So if we apply for the process, if you apply this formula for the process 1 to 2, then we can write that P1 V1 to power gamma P1 V1 to power gamma equal to P2 V2 to power gamma. Okay. Another formula for adiabatic process is between temperature. This is between pressure and volume. Another formula we can write between temperature and pressure. So we can write here T1 by T2 equal to P1 by P2 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Okay. This is the second formula for adiabatic process. Okay. Next we can write between temperature and volume. Okay. So for temperature and volume we can write that right here. For temperature and volume, T1 by T2 equal to V2 by V1 to the power gamma minus 1. Okay. All these formulas you have already studied in the thermodynamics subject. Okay, I am only reminding you all these formulas. Okay, so these are the pressure, volume, and temperature relation for all these processes. Okay, next we are going to see the formula for work done. Formula for work done. Work done. Work done means dW. Okay, for all these processes. Okay, so first we will talk about isobaric process, constant pressure process. So what is the formula for work done? For the constant pressure process, we know that dW is equal to P into dV. Okay, pressure into change in volume. Okay, so we are talking about the process from point 1 to 2. So what will the change? What will be the change in volume? So if we are going from point 1 to 2, so volume will be changed from V1 to V2. Okay, V1 is initial volume, V2 is final volume. So what will be the change? We can write here dW equal to P into dV means final minus initial. Okay, difference means what? Final minus initial. So final is V2, initial is V1. So we can write here P into V2 minus V1. Okay, so this is the formula for work done for isobaric process. Okay, next what will be the formula for the work done? Formula of the work done for isochoric process. Okay, so we can generate formula from here only. Formula is P into dV. Okay, and for isochoric process volume is constant. Volume is constant means V1 is equal to V2. So if V1 is equal to V2, then what will be the value of dV? dV becomes 0. Okay, so when dV becomes 0, what will the value of dW? Work done also becomes 0. Okay, so work done for isochoric process will be 0. Okay, you need not remember any formula. Okay, simple, the work done for isochoric process, constant volume process is 0. Okay, next is work done for isothermal process. Okay, dW. Here you need to remember the formula. Okay, so dW equal to, what is the formula? P1 V1 ln V2 by V1. Okay, you have studied the derivation of this formula in second year in thermodynamics subject. Okay, so I am reminding you the formula. What is the work done for isothermal process? P1 V1 ln V2 by V1. Okay, and in the first formula I have said you that P1 is equal to P2 V2. So we can also write here dW is equal to, in place of P1 V1 we can write P2 V2, P2 V2 ln, and in the second formula you can see that V2 by V1 is equal to what? P1 by P2. So we can replace V2 by V1 by P1 by P2. Okay, so replace V2 by V1 by P1 by P2. So we get another formula dW is equal to P2 V2 ln P1 by P2. Okay, and we know the basic formula for the ideal gas. What is the basic formula? PV is equal to MRT. Okay, you have studied that. This is the ideal gas equation, PV is equal to MRT. Okay, so if we are writing this equation for between point 1 and 2, so we can say that P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to MR T1. Okay, is equal to MR T2. Okay, T1 T2 doesn't matter because it is an isothermal process. So T1 should be equal to T2. Okay, so here we can write that only, right? P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to MRT. Okay, So we can replace these both values P1, V1 and P2 to by MRT. We can write here dW is equal to MRT ln. You can write any value from these both these equations, either V2 by V1 or P1 by P2. Okay. So I am writing here V2 by V1. Okay. So this is the third formula for work done for the isothermal process. Okay. Next is adiabatic process. So for adiabatic process, you have also studied this derivation, work done for adiabatic process. So what will be the formula for work done? P1 V1 minus P2 V2 upon gamma minus 1. Okay. What is gamma? Gamma is adiabatic index. If you have remember, what is gamma? Gamma is adiabatic index. Gamma is adiabatic index. The value of gamma is always greater than 1. Okay. For air, the value of gamma for air is 1.4. Okay. These are the basic things you have studied already. Okay. I am only reminding you. Okay. Now here also you can replace P1 V1 by MRT. Okay. Now here it is adiabatic process, not isothermal process. Okay. So in this condition P1 V1 should be equal to MRT1. Here T1 will come because it is not a isothermal process. Temperature T1 T2 will not be equal. Both temperature will difference because it is adiabatic process. Okay. So here you can write dW equal to MR. Here P1 V1 is equal to MRT1 and P2 V2 equal to MRT2. Okay. So MR we can take common MR. So here you can write that T1 minus T2 by gamma minus 1. Okay. So this is the second equation for work done for the adiabatic process. Okay. Now, so in the last we are going to see the formula for heat transfer. Formula for heat transfer. All this formula is for work done or work transfer. Okay. Now we are going to see the formula for heat transfer. Heat transfer, which is represented by dq. Okay. Now, first we will see the formula of the heat transfer for isobaric process. Okay. So for isobaric process, we know the basic formula of heat transfer. Okay. From 12th we are studying that this formula dq is equal to mc delta t. Okay, mc delta t, where c is specific heat, small c is specific heat. Okay, so here we can write that formula dq is equal to mc, but here in place of c we have to write cp because we are talking about isobaric process where pressure is constant. Okay, so in place of c, only c, we need to write cp, is specific heat for constant pressure. Okay, so mcp and delta t. Okay, delta T means difference in temperature. Okay, and we are talking about the process between point 1 and 2. So what will be the temperature between point 1 and 2? T1 and T2. Okay, and we are talking about the difference. So what will be the difference? Final temperature minus initial temperature. So we can write this dq is equal to mCp T2 minus T1. Okay. So this will be the formula for heat transfer for isobaric process. Okay. Next the same formula we can write for isochoric process. dq is equal to mc. Okay. But here in place of Cp we need to write Cv, small cv, because in isochoric process volume is constant. Okay, so we need to write specific heat at constant volume Cv. Okay, mCv dt. Okay, so we can write that right here dq is equal to mCv T2 minus T1. Okay, so this is the formula for the heat transfer of isochoric process. Okay, next is formula for the heat transfer of isothermal process. So if you remember, in isothermal process, work done in isothermal process, heat transfer is equal to work done. This is the first law of thermodynamics. Actually, this is the first law of thermodynamics. But this law is feasible only for the isothermal process. Okay, in isothermal process also dq is equal to dw, because in isothermal process temperature is constant, and when temperature is constant, difference in internal energy du becomes zero. Okay, okay, and what was the first law of thermodynamics for process? We are talking about the process now. This is the first law of thermodynamics for cycle. Okay, but we are talking about the process. So what was the first law of thermodynamics for process? dq is equal to du plus dw. This is the first law of thermodynamics for process. Okay, so this is isothermal process, and in isothermal process temperature is constant and internal energy is function of temperature only. So when temperature is constant, internal energy becomes zero. Okay, when internal energy becomes zero, then dq should be equal to dw. That's why this is only valid for isothermal process. Okay, so here you need not to write any different formula, you just write the formula for dw. Okay, because dq is equal to dw. I am writing here only dq is equal to dw. So all these formula for work done is valid for dq also. Okay, so you need not to remember any different formula, you have to remember only this formula. This is valid for work done as well as for heat transfer. Okay, next one is heat transfer for adiabatic process. So do we need to say something? What will the value of heat transfer for adiabatic process? This is the definition only. This is the basic definition of adiabatic process. In adiabatic process, heat transfer is equal to 0. Okay. So here also you need not to remember any formula, any different formula. Here the value of the heat transfer should be equal to 0. This is the basic definition of adiabatic process. Okay. The process in which there is no transfer of heat. Okay. Is known as adiabatic process. Okay. So dq is equal to 0. Okay. So all these formulas you need to keep in mind every time. Okay. While you are studying IC engine, all these formula you need to keep in your mind every time. Okay. So you also make a table like this in your copy. Okay. You all make a table like this in your copy. It will be very easy for reminding the formula, every formula. Okay. So This is all for thermodynamic equations. All this formula you have to remember, and we are going to use every formula in the equations. Okay. So this is all for the today. In the next class, we are going to discuss about Otto cycle and diesel cycle. Okay. Thank you.